Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Triple H has made a major mistake with the bloodline, and crowning new champions in WWE, says Hall of Famer, may cause issues. Exclusive. Triple H, the man responsible for much of the recent creative direction in WWE, is now facing criticism from a Hall of Fame wrestler for what he calls a major mistake involving the bloodline and the crowning of new champions. This exclusive insight sheds light on why this Hall of Famer believes the recent decisions could potentially destabilize the WWE narrative and hinder its overall success. The Bloodline storyline has been one of WWE's most celebrated arcs in recent years, centered around Roman Reigns, who has held the WWE Universal Championship for over 3 years. Under Triple H's creative leadership, the storyline expanded to include family dynamics, loyalty conflicts, and some of the most dramatic, character-driven narratives in WWE history. As Reigns retained his title and unified the WWE Championship with the Universal Championship, the Bloodline emerged as one of the most dominant forces in WWE, receiving widespread praise from fans and critics alike. However, the storyline has recently become more complex and perhaps problematic, according to this Hall of Famer. This Hall of Famer, whose identity remains undisclosed, argues that Triple H's recent decisions around the Bloodline storyline have put the faction's integrity at risk. Specifically, his concerns stem from the choice to split up the titles and introduce new championships across WWE's different brands. For the Hall of Famer, the decision to expand the titles undercuts the Bloodline's dominance and may dilute the impact of Roman Reigns' historic title reign. Additionally, this Hall of Famer believes that introducing new champions while Reigns is still holding his titles weakens the coherence of WWE's storytelling. In a recent interview, the Hall of Famer commented on the potential pitfalls of this move. "Look, I respect Triple H. He's done amazing things for this business. But the Bloodline's momentum was unmatched. By crowning new champions while Roman is still at the top, they risk muddling the storyline's impact. Who's the real top guy now? Splitting up the titles makes it unclear." This critique revolves around a few key issues: the inconsistency in storytelling, the diluted focus on Roman Reigns as the top champion, and potential issues with WWE's brand structure. The Bloodline storyline's success has stemmed largely from its simplicity, emotional depth, and family ties. Fans connected with the narrative as Reigns demanded loyalty from his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and his younger brother, Sikoa. Each character's journey of loyalty and betrayal made for compelling drama that resonated with audiences. Having one dominant champion unified across 2 titles made Reigns the undisputed face of WWE. By holding both the WWE Championship and Universal Championship, Reigns symbolized the power and resilience of the Bloodline, making every challenger's journey to the title all the more significant. This setup had been essential for maintaining the Bloodline's supremacy and the overall storyline's dramatic tension. However, Triple H's decision to introduce new titles and crown other champions has disrupted the storyline's cohesion. Now, with multiple champions in WWE, fans may question who truly reigns supreme. Instead of focusing solely on Reigns and his ongoing saga, WWE's storytelling has spread out across various champions, which could dilute the Bloodline's significance. Crowning new champions, especially in the same brand as Roman Reigns, raises questions about his place in WWE's hierarchy. Part of what made Reigns' reign so impressive was his exclusivity. He was the only undisputed champion in WWE. Every competitor wanted a shot at his titles, and that sole pursuit added weight to his character's journey. The Hall of Famer argued that by creating new titles, WWE risks taking away some of that exclusivity. Roman Reigns' position as the guy now appears somewhat undermined. If new champions exist alongside him, he may no longer seem like the most coveted champion to beat. This could affect the storytelling's overall integrity and dilute Reigns' legacy as one of WWE's most powerful champions. Triple H's attempt to expand the titles across multiple brands also risks oversaturating the product. WWE has already faced criticism in the past for having too many titles, which can make each championship feel less special. By dividing up the championship landscape, the product could lose its sense of hierarchy. For years, WWE maintained two separate main championships, one for Raw and one for SmackDown. This dual title structure made sense within the brand split, allowing each brand to have a distinct identity and exclusive champion. The Hall of Famer argues that reintroducing separate titles for each brand, while Roman Reigns holds the unified championship, undermines the exclusivity and legitimacy of his titles. While having distinct champions for each brand does allow for more feuds and storylines, it risks creating a watered-down product where the stakes feel lower. The Hall of Famer pointed out that, historically, WWE's most memorable eras were defined by a singular, dominant champion. By shifting to a more segmented approach, WWE risks losing that big fight feeling that one unified champion brought to the product. The Hall of Famer suggested a few ideas for how WWE might course correct without diminishing the Bloodline storyline or Roman Reigns' legacy. One proposal was to create a clear hierarchy among the champions, with Reigns as the undisputed top champion who only defends his title on special occasions. This approach would preserve the mystique of his championship while giving other champions a chance to shine on their respective brands. Alternatively, the Hall of Famer suggested that WWE might consider a storyline where Roman Reigns himself addresses the new titles, perhaps declaring himself above the brand split and focusing solely on monumental rivalries. This could re-establish him as a unique, top-tier champion while allowing other champions to gain traction without undermining Reigns' legacy. Another option could involve Reigns' eventual downfall being tied to the new champions, perhaps by building a storyline where one of the new champions ultimately dethrones him. This could create a cohesive, satisfying payoff that respects the Bloodline's legacy and transitions the focus to a new era of champions. While the Hall of Famer's critique raises valid points, it also highlights the challenges WWE faces in maintaining long-term storylines in today's rapidly shifting wrestling landscape. Triple H has taken creative risks, attempting to balance the traditional, hierarchical approach with modern, brand-specific storylines. The success of these changes will ultimately depend on whether WWE can maintain the stakes and significance of its championships without diluting their value. Fans and critics alike are watching closely to see how WWE navigates these new waters. For the Bloodline, the coming months will be pivotal. WWE's creative team will have to carefully manage the storyline's direction, ensuring that Reigns' reign remains impactful while finding ways to elevate other stars within the organization. Wrestling is about moments, about legends, and about building a legacy. WWE needs to be careful not to lose sight of that by crowning too many champions. There's only one top guy, and right now, that should be Roman Reigns. Triple H's gamble with the Bloodline and the new championship structure may still pay off if executed well. However, if WWE fails to keep the narrative coherent and meaningful, it could risk unraveling the very foundation that has kept fans engaged. For now, WWE will have to work diligently to strike the right balance between honoring Reigns' legacy and paving the way for the next generation of champions.